Hello.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Yes, I'm back.
It was too cold in the desert.
No, it was very nice. It was. I hate to go, but we're going to New Jersey Wednesday, so I have to pack.
You can kind of half a time live in New Jersey.
Yeah, I'd rather not. That's what my kids are. What can I do?
Yeah,
Uh, Graduations.
that's good. That's nice,
Yeah,
Harold.
nice. Yeah. Okay. We're doing Turb again tomorrow, correct? Turb is tomorrow. Okay.
Imagine.
Wow. Whew. All right. 46. 46, right?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of Texas in this.
I know.
That nice.
They really knew anatomy. I'm surprised they went to such detail. No,
Well, they could open them up and
they
and
had nothing else
then
to do. They didn't have Netflix, so they might as well do that.
yeah, and then open and dissect them, huh?
Open a chicken. Yeah.
Do you want this?
Hi, Abe.
Anyway,
Yeah. How's everybody?
We're good.
okay, thank
Are you
you.
good?
We are very good. I'm good. Mario's always good.
Yeah.
True, true.
Evening.
Evening.
Hey.
46.
We are on Daf Mem Vav 46. So Ad Va'ad Bichlal means we said if there's a defect in the spinal cord from the neck all the way down to where it first bifurcates, the question is, what about the break right there at the junction? Do we say Ad Va'ad Bichlal and it includes that area, or Ad Velo Ad Bichlal, or it's not included? Maybe that's a suffix. So, boy, Rav Papa, Imtim Solemer Ad Velo Ad Bichlal. You're going to tell me that going down to the area where it bifurcates is a suffix P Parshamahu. About the area directly where they branch off from the spinal cord. Is that also a suffix? Boy Rav Yerman, Imtim Solemer Ad Vad Bichlal, that the area is part of the spinal cord. Parshat's wrong. What about the place where it separates? So, Toshma, a parsha titon kibasar. The place where it branches is like regular meat of the animal. It's not. It's not like the spinal cord. My love parsha rishon u'shniya. Is it the first and second separations? Lo shlishis. Maybe only at that point does it become not spinal cord, but maybe the first and second we still have a question. Then ba'ofa, by birds, Rav Yanai Omar lamata min agafayim. The spinal cord extends below the wings. Just not below, but until between the wings. Amar Ula, have a kamina kamei ben Pazi. I was visiting Ben Pazi. Va'aisul kamei oifa. They brought to him a bird that had to be examined, the spinal cord. Ubodak ben agafayim. He checked just until the wings. Shach later ben Nasiya. So he was called away to the home of the Nasi. The convazil, he went. Maybe they didn't need to check anymore. Or Mishum Kavod Nasiya. Maybe he went because respect for the base Nasi, so we don't know. Then the Mishnah said, Nitla Kaved. If a little bit is left of the liver, it's okay. Which implies Hanishtayim and a klum kshera. Not a kazais, any amount. Hafagav delavi kazais. But now we have a Mishnah, Nitla Kaved Nishtayim and a kazais kshera. Which means if it's less than a kazais, it's not kosher. Or is it lakasha? Harab Chia, Rab Shimon ben Rabbi. Rab Chia says that all you need is a little bit of the liver. Rab Shimon ben Rabbi says you need a kazais. Kiad Rab Chia is Zarik la. Rab Zera would not eat the liver. He did not consider it healthy. Rab Shimon ben Rabbi matbila, he would dip his food in. It was healthy. The simonech, ashirin mekadsin, the wealthy people. Rab Shimon, the son of Rebbe, was wealthy. You see, he didn't waste any food. He ate the liver. The army of the Persians came to Pumbedisa. Arka Rabbi Rav Yosef. Rabbi Rav Yosef ran away. Pogam Rav Zera. Rav Zera met up with them. Amarlu Arukai Kazai Sha'amr b'Malkamara. That when the Rabbanim said that you have to leave at least the kazais of the liver, it's actually where the gallbladder is attached to the liver. Ravada Barava Amar, the Mokam Shichaya. Another shita is from the important part. So the liver is attached to the diaphragm, and the other part is connected to the right kidney. So that's the attachment b'Mokam Shichaya. So it's got to be a kazais there. You actually need three kazesim. One where the gallbladder was, one where the diaphragm is, and one next to the kidney. Even according to one that holds, you only need a kazais. You really need three kazesim, says the Rishonim. Bor of Yirmiyah. Mislaket Mahu. You don't have a kazais of liver in one place. You have it in multiple places, but if you mitzaref it, it adds. Is that kosher? Or kiritzu mao? It's long like a strip. Boy, Ravashi kazayas meruded mao. What if it's like flattened? It doesn't have any height. All these last three questions take, we don't have an answer. Boy, Rav Zrika Ravami. The liver is loose. It's not connected to the kidney and the diaphragm, but it's still connected a little bit to the diaphragm. What's the din? Amarle, dildu zeni yodea mao. I'm not even sure what the mitzias is. Ilaman da amar b'makamara ha'ika. If there has to be a kazayas in the place of the gallbladder. So here, the whole liver is there. It's connected to the gallbladder. It's also connected to the diaphragm. So he says there's no kasha, it certainly should be kosher. Mishnah said, if the lung was punctured, so there's a visceral pleura, which is separate from the parietal. The parietal pleura is attached to the chest wall. Then there's a visceral pleura that's attached to the lung. And then there's another layer that's right mamish on the lung. So Rav Shmuel Ravasi said, if you have a hole in the outer membrane, that's enough to make it a treifa, even if the inner one is okay. Varmila kamer tata. Others say no. It's when you have a hole in the inner one, and if the outer one is intact, then may also be okay. But if both have a hole, that certainly would be a problem. The color of the lung is red, like a rose. So Rav Nachman says it has to be the lower, the one that's right on the lung, because it's red. The outer membrane was punctured, but not the inner. So the lung is not going to lose air, tato and megin, because that inner layer that's directly on the lung is going to prevent air from leaking, so it's kosher. Kidarava. Domarava, high red the iglid, a lung that was peeled, kahaina sumka, it looks red. Kshera. You don't need the outer membrane, just the inner membrane intact is okay. Inkiv tatov lo inkiv ilah. Another shaila is, let's say there is a hole on the lung itself, but the outer visceral pleura is intact, and the air will not be escaping. Megin or lo megin. Pliga ravach ravina chadam or lo megin. One says it does not protect, and therefore the animal is treif. Chadam or megin. But v'hilchas of megin, Rav Yosef, the halacha is, if there's no hole in the visceral pleura, it's kosher because it will protect the lung from leaking. Rav Yosef, hareya da avsha. Let's say you shecht and you blow up the lung and you hear hissing. Yadana hecha avsha, if you see where the hissing is. So Mosvelav Gadfa Irok Ogila, you put either a feather or spit or a straw, and you see if it moves. Imavatspitz or treifa. Obviously, air is coming out, there's a hole, and it's treif. Ilok Shera. But if you don't see any air escaping, it's kosher. Now, if you can't tell where it's coming out of, so interesting halach here. You bring lukewarm water. When you put the lung in the water. Not in hot water because it'll shrivel it. Not in cold water because it'll stiffen it. Lukewarm water. And we inflate the lung. If it leaks, if we see water bubbling, treifa. V'lok shera. And tato inkiv ilo lo inkiv. So if it looks like the inner membrane was punctured, but the outer membrane is okay, and even though so it's kosher, and the hissing is because air is rushing between those two membranes. Hani sumka diyovish gildi siman gufa amarava. Hayre de iglid kaina sumka kshera. You take the lung out of the animal; it's like a red date. It's kosher. Amarava. If it's partly reddened, it's okay. Kula treifa. But if the whole thing is red, it's treif. Rava. It's also my time. Why do you say it's kosher to hadrabarya? Because it can heal. Kulanami hadrabarya. Even the whole thing is red, it can heal. Milo tanya you're not allowed to bruise an animal on Yontif, on Shabbos. Now, by the shrotzim, if you don't actually cause them to bleed, there's no chiyuv. Because it's not going to, the blood that gathers, like it looks like a gathering of blood, it's not going to break. The body will absorb it. Same thing, the skin of the lung is like these skins of the shrotzim. And we don't have to consider them that they've been punctured. Maybe we should compare it to the Shmona Shratzim Titanya, Nitzar Dam Afal Pi Shlo Yatsa. that you make a wound on Shabbos and you're chai for it, even if the blood didn't come out. So, but then there should be no distinction between a lung that's partially red and completely red. Elaloshna makes no difference. They both can heal, and therefore there's no trephus. Amarava, Reya Shiyavsha Mitzvasa trefa. Part of the lung dried up, it's trefa. How much is that? Kama? Amrafabish made a rava. When you run your fingernail over it, it crumbles. Come on. Rabbi Yosef ben Chullin. It's not. Ezeu Yavesha. When a Bechor has like a scab on its ear and it's dried up, She'im tinko ve'enim otziti pasdam. If you pierce it, there's no blood. Rabbi Yosef ben Chullin oimer yavsha kadei sheteni frechels b'tziporet. If it's so dry that it crumbles with a fingernail, then it's a mum. So this criteria of dry crumbling is the same like a bechor, and maybe not the chachamim. No, afilu temer rabbanon. Rava here stems with the chachamim as well. Gabi oizen bechor de koshot bezika. The bechor's ear is exposed to the air, so lo hadrabori, it can't become healed. Avareya de lo kosholet be'avira. But a lung that becomes red can become healed. Hadrabari, because it's not exposed to the air. Amarava, high red de kaima gildi. You have like spots on the lung. Uchmi, chazusa. If they're black or different colors, like red or green, ksheva. Because they're illnesses, but they will heal. Amar Ameimish made a rava, ein makifin beboyi. Hakafa is let's say you find a blister on the lung, there's a puncture there, but you don't know whether it occurred during the shechita. It was there already during shechita, so it's treif, or maybe the butcher did it. So the way you do it is you put another hole in the lung and you compare the two holes. If they look the same, then obviously the first hole was made after shechita, because a hole made when it's alive would not look the same way. But with blisters, that can change. So we don't use this test when it comes to blisters. Amarava, hani tarti oine disrich ladadi. So there's 3 lobes of the lung on the right, 2 lobes on the left. If they're touching each other, because they had a sircha, which was an adhesion, so less lubadika, you can't boidik them, putting them into the water and seeing if they leak, because the sircha itself makes it a treifa. However, lo yamon ela shaloi kasidra. The lobes are not next to each other in this case. They're far apart. But if it's one lobe is next to the other lobe, right? The upper lobe connected to the middle lobe, kasidra, that's the way they grow. And they won't sort of tear apart when the lungs move. The animal is kosher. Okay. Tomorrow the Daf will be at 7, and we'll do the new volume 21. Start volume 21 at 8 o'clock. Whoever needs it, you can still come to my house.
Great.
Ernie,
Yes, sir.